What I eat in a day in a fruitarian diet. Living for almost 20 years on fruit, and this is what I eat, and this is my fridge. I'm really happy to announce that 3 of my 10 books are now published in English, available on Kindle and print on demand on Amazon. My main book, The Eden's Diet, The Guide to Raw Frugivorous, the original diet. This is the most updated and comprehensive science book about diets. What we have in terms of raw foods, every detail that you need to understand to thrive in a raw food diet, to have more longevity and better health. In my humble opinion, what everybody in the world should understand. The Hygienic Fasting Nature Surgery, my most sold book in Portuguese. I'm pretty sure this is the best book on fasting in the world, the most updated in terms of science and in terms of natural hygiene practice. All the books have numerical bibliographical references, so it's not what I'm saying, but actually I can prove it. I quote by numerical references the scientific articles, the name of the scientist, the name of the journal, the scientific journal, the page, the year, and Natural Delicacies, Cooking Without a Stove, one of my recipe books with a lot of delicious raw vegan recipes like pancakes, cheese, dulce de leche, crepe, cakes, and a lot of delicious recipes without sugar, without oil, without salt, without anything that would damage your health. You want to learn more, get better in a raw vegan diet, get better in a natural hygiene lifestyle, be more productive, longevous, and healthy, you must read them. Hi, this is Dr. Corassa, a clinical nutritionist from Brazil that have been living almost for 2 decades in a raw food diet that has healed me from diabetes, back pains, 2 surgeries, respiratory and allergy issues, intestinal problems, and a lot of other chronic diseases. But now, for almost 20 years, 18 and a half, I have been thriving on a living food diet. And I want to show you my kitchen and what I eat in a day to vibrant, perfect, thriving health. Almost 20 years ago, I was really sick. A lot of issues and no solutions whatsoever. Always the solutions were pills, surgeries. But I wasn't feeling better. Even though I was getting a lot of treatments, I was not improving my health or my sickness. I could feel it and I knew I was in the wrong path. So I started searching and then I stumbled upon the raw food diet. And in the beginning, I was like, this makes a lot of sense, but I didn't know how to do a raw food diet. I tried to bite into a sweet potato. I tried to eat unripe pineapples. I was getting into trouble, because there are so many details to learn and there was no information available out there. No common sense information, nothing that sounds logical, doable, and right. So I started first looking at the 2 fields of the living food diet. The living foods, the idea, the concept of sprouting everything, germinating, using a lot of nuts, seeds, and legumes and grains all sprouted. And I saw people talking about a fruitarian diet that is living on only fruit. And I was like, one way sounds too complicated, using oils, uncooking a lot of the food, too complicated. And the other way was eating only fruit. I felt like I'm going to get deficiency if I stick to a only fruit diet. But I kept searching and I kept trying. And for sure, fruit sounds a lot more appealing to me and a lot more logical because we are anthropoid primates. And I kept doing it for 2 months, almost entirely fruit, because I wanted to eat something else, but I didn't know how to sprout those seeds. And they were not as tasty, I didn't know how to do it. I just kept going with what I could eat easily and what made me feel better. And after 2 months, I was not feeling too energetic and also feeling lost and a lot of weight loss. A lot. I was too skinny. And I could feel, I knew there was something wrong. So I kept searching on the internet. I found Douglas Graham website talking about the 80-10-10 diet, a plant-based frugivore diet, not just plants, not just fruits, but fruits and greens primarily, with the addition of nuts and seeds and other foods. And I was like, this is it. I could feel it in my heart, in my soul, in my, everything said to me like, this is the right path. And thankfully, I was right. I'm following this path for almost 20 years now, and it's the most healthy, sound, logical, scientific way I could find. I could study in these last 20 years. I went to university for nutrition school, and life became a blessing. So what do I eat? First of all, I want to show you my fridge, and then I can show you what I eat, what I'm going to eat in a day, and also the logistic for a fruit-based diet. Check it out, a natural living food fridge. Yes, for sure. You can see that it's persimmon season. So I eat a lot of persimmons because I love them. They're cheap, they're sweet, and they make me feel awesome. For sure, one of my favorite fruits in the world, and one of the most accessible, right? Because I love durian, but I have to fly to Thailand. It's hard to find durian anywhere else in the world. So what do we have here? I have persimmons. They're still getting to season, so some of them are not that ripe. You always need to look for really red persimmons like these. You can see the difference. The more they are getting to season and the more they are picked ripe, they're really, really red instead of, orange. So I'm eating a lot of persimmons, but I still do have grapes, pears, and a little bit of, I did some peanut cheese for my YouTube channel in Portuguese. This is pretty good. I just pressed it in another bowl. It looks pretty good when it was formed, the right plate. If you want that recipe in the YouTube channel in English, please comment below. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell buttons for notification, give it a thumbs up, and share this video. So the more the channel grows, the more I deliver good stuff for you. So I love watermelons. I always make sure I have at least one whole watermelon a week. I love atemoyas. This is the daughter of cherry moya with the sugar apple. So this is like one of the best favorite fruits in the world. It tastes like condensed milk. It's so sweet and so creamy. And then we have papayas and mangoes. These are Palmer mangoes and papayas from the farmer's market. I grow a lot of papayas in here, so I always have papayas as well. They're not as sweet, they're not the same variety, but it's pretty good still. So most of these are organic persimmons, so you can see they look a little bit different from the market. They have a little bit more of damage in the skin, and they are sweeter, but some are still not because of the season. And then here I have bananas. For sure, they look pretty bad because when I put it in the fridge ripe in a week or two, they start to get black on the skin, but on the inside, they're like still the same or even a better taste because they get a little bit oxidized. These are finger bananas or golden bananas. They're so sweet, one of my favorite variety of bananas, but you can see that although it's pretty ripe, tastes like candy. It's still pretty good. There's like a lot of varieties of bananas in here. Cavendish, what we call banana ouro, banana prata, banana d'água, a lot of kinds of bananas in Portuguese. I don't know all the names in English. So here I have a few of my vegetables, chayote, avocados, bell pepper. I don't eat green bell pepper actually, but I don't live alone, and some people cook here at my home. So at least it's vegan food, right? Oranges from the garden, onion, potatoes are not for me, cucumber, avocados, cabbage, and the kale and the celery. And so here at the door, avocados, more bananas, abiu. I don't know if you know it, I will show it for you. This is a really sweet fruit from the sapote family. It's really, really good. Bell peppers from the garden, turmeric, pitaya from the garden. This is quite a small one, but it's pretty tasty. Tomatoes, more avocado from the garden, more orange from the garden, papaya from the garden, and a dried coconut. I love coconuts and dried coconuts. So I have another fridge. It takes a while to at least, make look a little bit better. There's some other fruits and vegetables in the other fridges, but I will show you here what we would actually eat in the day. So in the middle, in the biggest portion, would be the sweet fruits: watermelon, persimmons, mangoes, also the citric fruits like oranges, papaya, pitayas. And then we go strong on vegetables. Here, kale, cabbage, celery, lettuce, tomatoes, bell peppers, and cucumbers. Yes, for sure, you can eat some starch once in a while. If it's fresh corn, you can eat it. This is too starchy corn, but you can also heat it up for a few minutes. You will not cause that much damage of nutrients just cooking in a steamer or in a hot water, just boiling for a few minutes. It's good to eat when the starch is not too hard, too starchy, like a potato or a bean. You can cook pretty fast, and so not causing too much cooked food toxins and also loss of nutrients. And then in the other side here, we have the fats: peanuts, walnuts, Brazil nuts, avocado, and coconuts. There's a lot of other fatty foods in nature like durian, ackee, breadfruit, but for sure, we will just talk a little bit about the main ones that you can find in any grocery store. So my favorite drink in the world for sure is the coconut, right? Here in the tropics, you can easily grow coconuts and they are pretty tasty. Not just tasty, but hydrating, full of electrolytes. This is perfect bottled water from nature. This is Mother Nature's gift to us. And then the dried coconut. There's a lot less water here. The water is usually more sweet if you don't get too mature. And you also get the pulp that is like more tough. So, there's a crunchy taste to it. So I like the dried coconut pulp, but also I like the fresh coconut pulp. And for sure, we always eat some nuts and seeds. You can also add sunflower, pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds. I love some walnuts. All the nuts I actually correlated with more longevity and protection from chronic diseases. So I highly recommend you to not exclude every kind of fat from your diet, even more for long periods. Maybe a day or two wouldn't be harmful, but for long periods, I wouldn't advise you as a nutritionist. And avocado as well. It's avocado season here in Brazil. And watermelon. These are my main drinks for sure. Coconuts, watermelons, and sometimes once in a while, sugarcane juice. That's pretty much it. So now I'm going to show you what I eat and what I'm going to eat for dinner as well. This is how I eat fruits. Maybe it looks too ripe for you, but for sure, if you are a frugivore long term, you will always prefer the fruits really ripe. You can see the pitayas, for example. This is the perfect stage of ripeness, right? For example, the abiu, you can see that there's some damage on the skin, or the mangoes, or the avocado. If the skin is still cute, you're probably not eating the fruits ripe. So look at this, perfect sweetness. So for lunch, I will eat around 20 pieces of fruit, like 2 kilos in average. And for dinner, you can go for mono meals. That means eating only one kind of fruit per meal, like eating only persimmons or eating just watermelon. But nowadays I don't do many monos, but I try to maintain like 10 persimmons and then a few bananas and a mango, right? And maybe I will eat some nuts and seeds to complement the lunch. And then for dinner, I'm going to eat a lot of vegetables, a few nuts and seeds, and also nowadays, for many years now, I have been including a legume like lentils, chickpeas, or peas to my daily routine, to my daily diet at dinner. So I can have a little bit higher protein intake. I don't get too thin because I feel so much better when I restrict protein intake and caloric intake, when I get really skinny. But people criticize so much, and I don't care about the critics, but I must look healthy, because people think it chubby, water retention, like roundy, puffy face, it's healthy, right? Yeah, for sure. because I lift weights as well and another stuff, I always like to include some legumes. If I think it's extremely necessary every day, no. But I do it to increase a little bit my protein intake. Look at this. This is abiu. Sweet condensed milk. So good. And then, look at the mango actually. Look at the color of the mango. This is really ripe mango. You can see by the skin, the peel as well. It looks maybe to a lot of people that have gone bad, that it's too ripe. But when you taste it, it's creamy, it's pure sugar, and it's the best ripeness to eat a fruit. For example, take a look at this pitaya. The skin is so ripe, but when you cut it open, look at the pitaya. I don't understand how people can criticize, like a fruitarian diet. This is like the only thing you can eat in nature raw. And you are not born with a stove. You're not born with cooking apparatus and salt and sugar and oil. So sweet, so creamy, so tasty, so colorful, so smellful. It has everything good. So why not at least include more fruits and vegetables in your diet? I will never understand what people have in their minds. So they avoid fruit. They don't eat as much fruit as they should. So this is my takeoff with this video. If you want to learn the best science in terms of diet, the best details on how to improve your lifestyle and use lifestyle as medicine, a way to not just treat disease, but to reverse and maybe to not suffer from disease and also to live a longer life. Natural hygiene, the science of health, is the best body of knowledge that you can find in the whole world about living a healthy, longer life. Tell me on the comments, what would you want to see in the channel? How can I help you actually? So if you want my help as a clinical nutritionist, you can message me on the number below here in the description, and you can get consultations online and in private sessions. 6 online courses and retreats here in Brazil, 3 times a year, January, Carnival, and July. So you can learn the best information on natural hygiene in the world, in the tropics. There's a tennis court on the yard. There is 350 fruit trees. We have 3 blocks from the beach. Here it's paradise on earth. You can also learn the best science and application of health being produced by healthful living, as we say. So much frugal health. I would love to have you here next time. Don't forget to subscribe for the channel, hit the bell button for notification, give it a thumbs up, comment below, and share the video with everybody that can learn, who can change their lives. Just understanding that fruit is actually nature's medicine, nature's favorite medicine, best medicine. But you have to understand that it's not one piece of fruit or 2 that really makes a difference. It's eating lots and lots of fruits and vegetables throughout your life that makes the whole difference. So don't miss the next video and click these videos to know more.